This is Paul Tinkle. Thanks for joining us today on 30 Minutes. Our guest today is Logan Brimm. He's the IT director of the Martin Public Library, and also Katie Parr. She's now spent her third year working for the Martin Public Library. Thanks for coming in on our program today, Katie and Logan.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here, Paul.
Why did you want to come to Martin?
Well, I have 2 degrees in library science, actually. So I spent 10 years teaching and as a school librarian and a coach around at Fulton City and Union City. And when I saw this job come open at this amazing, new, beautiful facility, I thought, I can use my master's in library science and apply for the job. And I couldn't let it pass me by without at least trying for it.
How much has it changed over the last 3 years?
Well,
things that you implemented.
Sure. I think definitely, being in the new building, we were open for about 6 months, when I started. And so there was a lot of, learning that everyone had to do being in a new building and a new space. We definitely have implemented a lot more adult programming that's like specific adult programming. Logan, who's here with me now, does adult D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, and he's our DM and writes the stories and everything for that. We have tried to obviously keep our children's programming going because we've always had amazing children's programming, and Jenny does a fantastic job with that. The event center.
You got to stop now. You just said Jenny, but you didn't tell us her last name.
Jenny Claiborne, who's our children's director, does an amazing job with our children's programming. And we have the event center, which, is not just a library space. It is a space that people can use can check out or rent from the city for weddings, proms, graduations, all kinds of things. And so that is a whole new world that the library has opened up. That's amazing. And we have a fantastic event center manager named Michael Nielsen who handles that space. But people can also book through the library if it's a nonprofit organization, and they're doing something during library hours. They can use that space for free.
Is it safe to say you've had weddings out there? Is that right?
Yes,
right?
Several
Weddings and other things that you've done.
Yes, Westview's having their prom on April 12th in the library and on the stage.
Mm-hmm. And when we talk about events that are taking place, that probably most people think about the Soybean Festival as part of the library as well.
Absolutely. And obviously with this amazing new space, we're able to offer the acts a lot more as far as comfort and quality goes. So, they can use our event space as a green room space for soybean. So we kind of shut that down and leave that for the acts to use. We have the catering kitchen where Shaggy's team last year cooked a meal in the catering kitchen instead of having one of them delivered. So that was pretty neat. And obviously that amazing stage, is top notch. So.
Yeah. The thing about libraries, I think they're overlooked. People kind of get used to them. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I think you're totally right. And I think that a lot of people tend to think, especially now, libraries, we don't need those. We can get my books online and things like that. But libraries are evolving. Librarians are providing information, are giving you access to things. So we provide hotspots for free for the community. We provide books still. That's still important. And we also provide, a way for the community to have a place to go, a safe place. And when the foundation first started raising the money for the new building, their tagline kind of became that the library should be the living room of the community. And that's how I see it as well. It's no longer just a boring place with dusty books. It's a place that you can go for.
Well, I will say this, the chairs and the sofas are pretty comfortable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
you can sit down and read a book for a long time and just kind of, I don't know how else to say it, but you just kind of cuddle up to a book and,
sure.
And then, you start doing research and you don't want to have to hurt your posterior gluteus maximus. But
definitely not.
But the truth be known, I think the library, and this is my vision of what I think, but the library is always open, not necessarily 24 hours, but it's always open to the people that want to come.
Yes.
And there's so many things that have happened in this library for the last 3 years. Most of this on your watch as well. Let me stop for just a second. If you just joined us, Logan Brimm is with us, and I'm really glad to have you with us today, Logan. Second thing about things that are going on, intellectual knowledge. Let's talk about what's going on in the digital world that you're in.
Yeah, I mean, and especially in the library, there's a lot, and then there's a lot new. We just got a tech grant this past October, and with that, we got a poster printer, we got a resin 3D printer, we got new computers, and so when you think about the library, like Katie was saying, it's not just books, and it's not just a place to go and read books. It is also a place where, even just today, I helped a guy do his taxes. I helped a woman fill out a resume and apply for that. And so it's like Katie was saying, it's not just books. We have multiple services in the technology field that we can provide. And that is most of my job, is to maintain the services that we can provide as far as technology goes, and to also help patrons whenever they need it.
Well, let me think out loud here with you. It appears as though that the first thing they want to know is, do you have internet? Yeah. That's the first question they're going to ask.
Absolutely. We have internet, and I think one of the most used pieces of technology in our library is the open access patron computers.
What is that?
Those are located right upstairs through the doors and to the left. And those are just open computers. As long as the library is open, you can go up there and use that computer for whatever you need to use it for, whether that's taxes, resume, filling out a paper, designing something online. And those computers are also connected directly to a printer. A lot of people use that as well. So they come and they fill out a resume, they need to print it out, or they make a file on Canva, make a flyer for a fish fry or whatever they're making it for, and print it out and use that. Yeah, Canva is a really unique tool. I use it a lot. Even for library programs, Canva, you can go in and you can make, digital logos, flyers, anything that you need to just not have text. If you want some sort of graphical design on there, you can go on there, and Canva is free to use. There are parts of it that you have to pay, but
well, I'm going to tell you, I would need help with Canva.
That's why I'm there. You just asked for Logan.
That's what I was trying to get my point across. There are a lot of people that don't know about all of the new technology or the programs and so forth. And I mean, there's just so much history there. But here's the question: can't we do this at home? Do we have to go to the library? What's the library got over?
Well,
if you're competing with the house or your phone.
Well, and I think a lot of people take for granted the technology that they do have that other people don't. There's a lot of people that come in that don't have computers, that only have a smartphone, or like I said, we have 3D printers there that we have learned to utilize not only for patrons, but we've started utilizing it for the library itself. So that's been a cool new piece of technology that is constantly being used. We also have a poster printer that can print full-size posters, either 16 by 24, 24 by 30, or we can even go to banners.
Wait a minute. You got that in the library?
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Posters? So if somebody wants to run
and
for
if
office?
You want it laminated, we can laminate it too. We have a new laminator as well.
I hesitate to ask on the air, but I'm going to. What's a poster cost? I mean, what's the material?
Not much. A 16 by 24, which is your standard poster size, is only $3. To get that laminated, the full poster laminated, is only $3 more. If you want to do a 24 by 30, which is a large poster, that's only $5, and those are full color.
I promise you right now, somebody's going to come see you and real quick and find out where they can get a poster made. A lot of people they bring flyers by the radio station, much like UT Martin Rodeo. They have a flyer there that they brought to us. But there's so much information, such as used for senior citizens, maybe for the senior citizen centers of various locations. I mean, we don't find out that this is, at a minimal price to be able to go in and get some posters made.
thanks to the grant money, we're able to purchase the items that we need and the poster printer at a 50-50 match. And actually the foundation made up the difference for us. So none of the poster printer or the laminator came out of the city budget. So that was good.
And what is the foundation? Who is the foundation?
So originally the foundation was formed in 2014, the Library Foundation, and Nick Dunnigan was the president of the foundation. He has continued to be a fantastic member, obviously, of the library community. He's actually serving on our board right now, our library board, which is, there's a difference between the board is the city appointed board that is my boss. Mm-hmm. And the foundation has been, obviously, they raised $1.75 million to help with the seed money for the building. But they also, Jenna Wright helped write a grant for $100,000 through the state library, the Tennessee State Library. And, the rest of the money came from a USDA loan for the building. So the foundation still has a lot of money left from the donors, the community members, that we are able to utilize for big projects. So they just helped us put in about a year ago some security cameras. We had some spots that we were missing, and a PA system. So they help with that large project. And they help us with things like, if I need 50-50 match for a tech grant and I just need that other 50%, I can ask them. The Friends also help us immensely, and they focus on the children's programming. So they gave us $6,000 last year for our summer reading program.
People are going to ask the question. I'll go ahead and do it for you. So is the library paid for yet? It's
not. However, the loan was through the USDA. It is a long-term, no interest, low interest loan. And I will say that it's going to be paid off, as quickly as it can be. I know that the mayor is working on paying down some debt this next fiscal year. We had a conversation about that recently. So we did the community, I wasn't here at this point, did everything they could possibly do to raise as much money as they possibly could. For the building, and are still, with the foundation still being in existence and helping us with the Friends, with grant money. I do everything I can to supplement the budget that I have.
Yeah, I think a lot of people take it for granted that the library isn't the tool that they could be using to make their life a lot easier.
Gearing up for summer reading, which will start the very first Monday of June. But we will be pushing advertisement for that soon. And also the library's turning 100 this year, so that's a big deal as well.
Well, let's talk about that. 100 years ago, do we have the papers, so to speak, in the library from the first library? And I happen to know where it is, but I'm going to let you tell it.
I do. So the Women's Club of Martin in 1925 decided that they wanted to provide books for the children in the community. And I have the minutes that I found in the genealogy room from that first meeting where they decided that they were going to do that. I also have some original books, and I've worked on an exhibit upstairs, and so it's going to stay up for this entire year of original documents from the very first Martin Public Library from 1925 all the way through to what we currently have. So I have one exhibit case for each building. That was kind of my plan there.
What are you going to do for this 100th anniversary?
Well, we've got a few things in the works. The biggest
open house?
Yes.
Okay.
The biggest one that I am focusing on right now that I'm planning for is August 21st, a open to the public celebration. The new building opened August 19th, 4 years ago. And so that 4-year birthday of the new building, and we're going to celebrate the 100 years of Martin Public Library. We're going to have a huge reception for the public. David Warren, who was a huge proponent for our library and has stayed in contact with us, has agreed to he's hoping to be able to make it in person, but he's absolutely going to be on a video. And Mary Carpenter's going to be helping me out with that. David Spikes, I've talked to him a little bit. So a lot of people recognize those names, obviously, as people that have been amazing and helpful in the community, especially when it comes to the library.
What is the most, I don't want to call it, what is the one thing you can hold in your hand that says Martin Public Library on it? Is there a book that came from 1925 that is, under glass or something?
Sure. So we actually have Barbara Dunlap, who's our assistant director, was smart enough to keep all the books that she had located or they had located when moving items over from the old building that were from that original building that we had left in her office.
So let me get this correct. So some of these books started in the Weldon Park, if you will.
Yes.
And then those went over to we would call the old Weldon Library. Okay.
Yes.
And now you have them here.
Yes. And right now, as part of that display, I have 4 of them opened with their inscriptions so that we can see the Fortnightly Club gave one on their 50th anniversary. They've been around for a long time. They still meet in the library today. Mm-hmm. One of them was inscribed 1888. So it was donated to the library after, someone else had been using it for their purposes. So I've got 4 right now on display that came from the original building.
Do you have, either of you know, I'm sure you do you have one of those great big old fat dictionaries?
We do, in the Tennessee room.
I just was wondering.
A few, I think.
Yeah.
A few.
They're not for sale, but,
They're not for sale.
But if you were to make $1 million payment for that,
I might let go of one.
You just joined us.
We don't know where.
Talking with Logan Brimm and Katie Parr, Martin Public Library. She is the director and he is the coordinator of the IT. How's AI going along? We better start with artificial intelligence here for a moment.
Yeah. AI is interesting, right? Because it's always evolving, and I think we're in the early stages of AI, especially with how we can use it, and a lot of people are scared what it could do. I think if you go back and you look at how people saw, even smartphones when it first came on, and people were kind of scared of that. So people are scared of change and new technology. I think obviously it's gonna be used for some bad things by bad people. I know I personally use it for, like Katie mentioned, the Dungeons and Dragons program that I run there, and I use that to help me write stories for that. And you can use it for if you need a quick recipe or anything like that. So I think a lot of people are really scared of it, but you don't necessarily need to be, as long as what you're using it for is what you need and it's not hurting anybody else.
Well, I'm glad you have this position. So what do people need to be worried about or fear of?
Not too much yet, I don't think. I've heard that, now call centers are using AI to, and this could be completely false. This is just something I've heard.
Well, I don't know. I think you're probably right on it. So.
Call centers are using AI to change, their employees' voices from, non-domestic to domestic people. Yeah. Things like that. I don't know how much truth is in that. I don't know that AI is quite that far yet, but it could be. It's always changing, like I said.
Yeah, I had former President Biden.
Oh yeah,
he sent me I got a voice text from him.
Yeah.
And a picture with him too. Even calling my full name out. Now that's AI. They can do things. We all know that's not true, but there's some things you just don't know whether they're real or not real.
And I'll say, if you get an email or if you get a text that you are unsure about, come into the library and ask me, and we'll sit down and go through it.
I was going to mention that.
How can you do that? How can you figure that out?
There's a lot of signs to look for. A lot of people will get this very official looking email, and then you look at the email address and it's Joe Schmo, Indiana @gmail. So there's little key things that you can look for in phishing emails, and even phishing texts, like the same thing. If it says, I'm government agency, click this link, that's probably not real. But I help patrons with that quite often. So that's another service we provide at the Martin Public Library.
Let's go ahead and just jump just a little bit deeper into the water. You and I both know, and I'm sure Katie does too, but if you're not sure what it is, delete it.
Absolutely.
We can save a lot of hassle,
If they need you, they'll they'll contact you and figure it out. And yeah, absolutely.
So besides the 100th anniversary, August the 21st of 2025 that you're planning, do you already have plans? Do you already have the plan in play? And I know this is I'm thinking of the right word here for just a second. You and the city, the public library and the city both have to sit down and talk about things, because you're going to have, again, this year, you'll have some people on stage.
Absolutely.
A lot of people coming to the library for, entertainment and so forth. And a lot of those people come into the library.
Absolutely. So Soybean has, obviously the committee has been meeting for a very long time. And they are wrapping things up, and I think pretty much have their list of who that's going to be. So I can't say, but I am excited and hope that all, is what it is we think it's going to be. And the acts are able to use our recording studio. Shaggy even used our recording studio last year, so that was really neat. So yeah, we're excited, and yes, we work very closely with each other to plan those types of things.
You and I didn't have this conversation yet, but this part about the University of Tennessee at Martin, freshman students that come over.
Yes.
Let's take a deep dive with that.
Absolutely.
How important is it to get the students in the Martin Public Library?
Yes. So generally, around that same time in August, as the 21st, we have the freshmen are bussed over for a large event. And it's pretty much everybody who's new that wants to come over, and UTM has a big event for them. They usually have, the city has food trucks out there, and we stay open, the library, so that the students can wander around and look around, especially if they're brand new to the community. Any UT Martin student can get a library card at our library. They just need their UTM ID. So we give a lot of library cards that night when they come. A lot of them just, show up another day, but they're very excited to see the study rooms, all of the amazing things that they can utilize because of the citizens of Martin and their generosity.
Mm-hmm. Digital stuff. How deep are you, Logan, in video and making? Somebody wanted to make a movie, okay? That's maybe a short, but can we do some of that there?
Yeah, absolutely. Like Katie mentioned, our recording studio, in that we have.
Let's talk more about that. How did that come about?
Well, that was there before me, but it's a really cool room that is upstairs in the library, and it's free to use to the public.
So if I wanted to bring my guitar and sing and get it recorded, you can do it right up there?
Absolutely. One of our
two things I don't do is I don't sing and I don't play a guitar.
Well, hey, it's never too late to learn.
But if you wanted to, you could.
Rich Gallagher, who works upstairs at the library, he's our music guy. So if you need some help with that guitar, he can help you out. But in that studio, there's everything you need for if you wanted to record a podcast, if you wanted to record voiceover, sing a song, whatever you want to do in there, it's yours to use.
The technology that you have, but people have to have the other part of the technology because you don't give that away.
Right.
And I'll use the word laptop or, I'm not real sure what people.
We have full computers in those rooms that you're free to use. I always encourage people, if they're working on a project over multiple sessions, I encourage them to bring a flash drive or something to save that on, because it is a public use computer. But like you said, you're welcome to bring your own laptop or instruments or whatever it is. We do have instruments in our library of things that can be checked out and used in the recording studio.
That's very good. Katie, what keeps you up at night?
So many things, Paul, but as far as the library goes, what keeps me up at night is my excitement. I can't turn my brain off because I'm always so excited about the ideas that we have in the works. And I will give a little preview plug that we're working on a podcast for the library, and the title is going to be Yappin' in the Stacks. And Logan and myself and Rich are probably going to be the hosts, but it's early days of planning, but we're hoping to have an episode soon. So that's exciting.
I don't want to hold back on this, but I was waiting for you to say, come to see the Tennessee Room.
Oh, absolutely. Come to see the Tennessee Room.
I bailed you out here, so.
It's a beautiful room that is, open all the time, that we're open. People often think that they need to have permission to go in there because it looks fancy. But it's welcome. Anybody's welcome to come in there and read and relax and enjoy the beautiful views of that room. Miss Jenny Vaughn, it's kind of in her honor, and a lot of people have fond memories of her for sure.
I think in a big picture of the things that are there, you really need to come over and spend 3 or 4 hours. Plenty of places you can walk and get something to eat. But I say that there are places in the library. I've taken the tour about 3 times, and I know there's stuff that's changing, and at the same time, new stuff that's coming in,
Sure.
much like what you've been talking about, Logan.
Yeah, new technology all the time. As soon as we can get it, anything that we can get to help the people of the community, we're going to try and get and try and provide that.
Well, something else that we probably need to talk about, and one of the things that I really think Martin looks so pretty, and I know they're up right now, but when they turn the Christmas lights on the Martin Public Library, really,
I agree. I love it. I love it. And I'm when I drive by, there's been several times at night when I'm on my way home that I take the drive all the way and around the building, because we have the Christmas trees in the windows of the Tennessee room, the genealogy, and just that front view. I don't always drive by the front of the library because I go to the side and park in the back. And so I definitely try to do that and take pictures of it because I really appreciate it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. So.
I have one thing that bothers me.
Okay.
And it bothers me everywhere that it happens to be, where there is a watch or a clock.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Paul.
Okay, so here's what I want to know. When's the clock going to be fixed?
Okay, so Cam Electric is on it, right? So they've spoken to the clock makers several times in the last week or so. He is ordered a motor. We had it right for about 2 days. He's ordered a motor because our digital clock that's connected to our clock is always right, but something's going on with the actual mechanisms on the clock.
Have you been up to the very top?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
All the time.
So what's it look like from the outside looking in, or inside?
Well,
looking
you
out?
can't see off the roof. There's walls, so you're kind of in a bowl there. But there's HVAC units up there on the roof, and the third floor is sort of like what you would think of as an attic. But it does have concrete, so you can walk.
Yeah,
around.
and this is about nothing more than just I think people, when they come up off of a University Street and they look up, that's the first thing they look at.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's something, and you kind of wonder if they don't keep time very well.
I've made several Back to the Future jokes about us trying to get the flux capacitor working correctly so we can get the clock right.
Well, I think we can probably figure that out. Cam Electric's a great bunch of people.
Yes.
They're working awful hard to make sure that's going to be repaired. Let me give both of you a couple of moments just to shine. What's your last words?
Yeah, the library isn't just books. We have programs and technology that you may not have at home, and if we have it, come and use it. And if you don't know how, just ask us, and we'll help you.
And the library's for everyone. Nobody, no matter where they come from or who they are, will be unwelcome at the library, and so we welcome anyone to come in and visit us. And we are always excited to see new visitors. We had over 45,000 library visits last fiscal year. So,
well, that was my question. How many people usually come during the course of the month?
Average about 3,500 a month during the regular school year. During the summer, it's more than that.
Mm-hmm. Kids, they love it.
Yes, absolutely.
The playroom is what they have in there. The learn room, I don't know all the rooms.
The makerspace.
Okay.
Absolutely. We're having open makerspace. We had it this morning. We're having it tomorrow and Friday as well, since it's spring break. So come check it out.
We didn't give this enough time, but I'm going to just punch it out here for a second. Kiwanis Club, and then you have Rotary Club and the Optimus Clubs. All your clubs have to have a meeting place. The Martin Public Library is a great place to have a meeting.
Yes, for sure. And if it's a nonprofit organization, a community organization, we usually can work with them and get them a space for free. As long as it's during our hours, they're all good.
Hope you've enjoyed our program today. Katie Parr, Library Director, Martin Public Library, and Logan Brimm, IT guy, really smart fella. Come meet him. Hope you've enjoyed our program today. Paul Tinkle, pre-recorded here on WCMT and Thunderbolt Radio, Star 95.1.
You've been listening to 30 Minutes, a community affairs program on Thunderbolt Radio. You can listen to this broadcast and others anytime by visiting thunderboltradio.com and following the Thunderbolt Radio and Digital YouTube page. Thanks for listening.